They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know.
Bill Maher absolutely destroys this woke idiot live in front of his audience. It's going to be a really fun debate to watch. Let's go.
No, you know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
Answer this question. Huh? Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
The question is, was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't follow this.
Saying you know for a fact that that's what they did? I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know about this.
I do know about that.
Well, you're acting like you don't.
I do know about that, and I do watch Fox. But the point is, we're going to prove now that the press tried to.
They're admitting it.
The press is admitting it.
Yes, that's not even an issue anymore. They're saying, yes, we basically did this because we didn't want this to throw the election. Yes?
I don't know that they've all said this, and I believe strongly
well, the New York
in the
Times
First
definitely
Amendment.
did.
My dad was a reporter. I believe in it. And I think you have to make sure that you're treating people fairly. But I think Rob's point here is that we are dealing with a man who used to be the president right now, who literally tried to lead an armed insurrection.
So Bill Maher brings up the Hunter Biden laptop story. For people who don't know, it's the scandal where emails allegedly linked Joe Biden to his son's shady business deals. Right before the 2020 election, Twitter and mainstream outlets buried the story, calling it Russian disinformation. And months later, those same outlets quietly admitted it was real. So Maher calls it out. That's the moment that explodes the room. Immediately, one of the panelists cuts in, "Of course you don't know that," which also means in woke language that don't you dare say it out loud. For years, the mainstream press acted like omission equals morality. They didn't lie, they just decided you didn't need to know yet. That's not him going conservative, it's him admitting the obvious truth his audience doesn't want to hear. And when Maher says that's not even an issue anymore, he's reminding his own side. Yeah, they did it. Everyone knows they did it.
Rob, you recently mentioned that you believe Archie Bunker would have supported Trump, but would have condemned the insurrectionists. How do you think he'd vote in the next presidential election?
I think he's one of those people that would have had enough of Trump at this point. Yeah. And you see a lot of Republicans peeling off now. And I think that's a good thing. This is not a political party anymore. I don't know what this is. This is some, the cult, whatever. But it's this. I believe there's a Christian nationalist movement that's very frightening.
There's a Christian nationalist movement that's very frightening. That line gets thrown around like it's some doomsday prophecy, but really it's just lazy labeling. Anytime traditional Americans express faith and patriotism together, it's branded as extremism.
Finishing up a documentary on it called Christian Nationalism, The Danger. It's called God and Country, The Danger of Christian Nationalism. And it's basically, they take somebody like Donald Trump, who doesn't espouse anything that they believe in, and they elevate him to godlike status, and that whatever he does is okay. So,
first of all, Trump was losing steam before the raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the election. He lost by 7 million votes.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Yeah, but he was not as unpopular right after the election as he was right before the Mar-a-Lago raid. Right. He was steadily going down. DeSantis was stealing his thunder. Yeah. And it looked like DeSantis was going to get the nomination, or at least had a fighting chance. Then the raid came, and look, I don't agree with you about Archie Bunker. There are Republicans peeling away. I don't think he would have been one of them. I don't think he was not a bright guy, and it was all based on loyalty and personality, and also that he was an angry guy who was not happy with his life, and that's what fuels Trump voters.
So Rob Reiner now claims that Trump was losing steam before Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, sure, bro. Losing steam while pulling in record crowds, dominating the polls, and flipping counties no Republican had touched in decades? That's like saying the fire's dying while your kitchen's still burning. What's really happening here is wishful thinking. These people live in an echo chamber where every negative headline equals the end of Trump's career. He's finished. He's fading. People are peeling off. Except they're not. The raid on Mar-a-Lago didn't weaken Trump. It resurrected him. It turned him from a politician into a symbol, proof that the system will do anything to silence dissent. And the moment that happened, millions of people who were quiet before got loud. That's what these panels never understand. They think politics runs on scandals and sound bites, but movements run on emotion. Every time they attack him, they reinforce the story that made him unstoppable in the first place. This entire episode shows something deeper than left versus right. The left says, we hid it to save democracy. The right says, you hid it to steal democracy. Guys, we actually did hide it. You know, every generation thinks it's fighting for democracy, but most of the time, they're just fighting for control of the microphone. And the question isn't who's right. It's who's still willing to tell the truth when it hurts their own side. That's where integrity actually lives. Subscribe if you believe that kind of honesty shouldn't be rare.